Today, I'm going to show you how to turn this into this for this little guy. The carrot-tail viper gecko is a small species of gecko that is native to Pakistan and the borders of India. Here the average temperature ranges from 88 to 93 degrees, with the occasional temperature spikes of up to 105 degrees. Living in such an arid environment, food is scarce and shelter is a must. Being a crepuscular species, they don't like to come out until sunset, so until then they hide between the confines of rocks until the sun begins to go down. Before this enclosure, I'm going to add a couple of hides, and I'm going to add some shade dwelling features as well, while also implementing some hardscape along the wall so they can climb. So let's get to it. For the enclosure, I'm going to use an 18 by 18 by 18 Zoom-Ed naturalistic terrarium. This enclosure is going to have a decent amount of height and it's going to have a good footprint as well. We're going to start by using the Gorilla Glue method. First, we're going to spray the glass with a light spritz of water just to help activate the Gorilla Glue. Next, you're going to want to start applying the Gorilla Glue in a back and forth motion until you pretty much fill all the gaps. Next, we're going to add some wood. Ghost wood is my go-to when it comes to desert vivariums because it just gives it that natural look. We're going to spray the surface of the Gorilla Glue to help activate the adhesiveness of it. For the background, I'm going to use decomposed granite. First, you want to make sure that you soak it so it adheres to the Gorilla Glue. Decomposed granite is going to help create that nice rocky deserty look. It's also going to be able to create a rock face that the geckos can climb. They love to climb, so adding this is going to be a natural enrichment for their enclosure. It can be a bit hard to see the expansion of the Gorilla Glue underneath the decomposed granite, so you want to make sure to keep an eye out for it and make sure to apply pressure whenever you start to see it expand too much. Once the Gorilla Glue has completely cured, you can scrape off all the excess decomposed granite, but make sure to save it for the other walls. Now, although the Gorilla Glue is dry, the decomposed granite is still wet, so we're going to let it sit overnight to dry. Now that the background is dry, we can get rid of the rest of the loose granite. I'm going to use this drill and this soft bristle brush to help me get rid of all the little pieces and to be as thorough as possible. Once we're done with the first side, we're going to repeat the previous steps with the other two sides. On one side, I decided to add some rocks. Not only will these act as natural ledges, but they'll also help retain heat, so they'd be great basking spots. Now the goal of this enclosure is to make them look as natural as possible. So I decided to grab some hides and I'm going to cover them in Gorilla Glue and also cover them in decomposed granite to really help them blend in with the background. So while the hides are drying, I'm going to start adding some plants and working on the enclosure a little bit more. I'm going to be adding a few different succulents into the enclosure, however this one's main purpose is to add shade to this corner. That way they can shade dwell if they wanted to. Now for the bedding, I'm going to use Exoterra's Stone Desert Mix. It's a natural sand and soil mix that has no added dyes, and when you give it a light mist, it will actually harden on the surface, which will help with digging behavior. It's also a great tunneling substrate, so if you were to give it a light mist, you can shape it, you can dig into it, and it will hold its form. Now that our hides are dry, they're ready to go into the enclosure, and honestly, these came out awesome. A few more succulents. And a light mist to help harden up the surface. And we can't forget their lights. These lights are going to help us maintain a proper gradient of 75 to 85 degrees in the cooler spots and a 95-degree basking spot. Alright, so now it's time to check our temperature gradients. Alright, so this wall is going to read 88.5, and on top of this wood it's 95.5. That is a perfect basking area. 91 on top of the hide, and 87.5 inside. Alright, we're going to check this little pocket over here, and this one reads 82 degrees. All in all, we have an awesome gradient inside of this enclosure. There's areas for them to cool off, and there's areas for them to warm up. And there you guys have it. That is how you set up a baby viper gecko in a naturalistic ARID vivarium. I hope you guys liked this video. Hit that like button, smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you never miss a video that we put out. I'll catch you guys next time.